Hey there, you found Cameras and Car Seats, the podcast for photographers who are tired of being told to hustle harder while trying to remember if you grabbed diapers at your last Target run. I'm Jamie, your destination adventure elopement photographer who somehow manages to adventure with couples while raising tiny humans.
And I'm Alex, holding down the Lincoln logs in the Midwest traditional wedding scene, proving you can crush those weekend weddings and still make it to family dinner. If you're editing in the pickup line, scheduling client calls during nap time, or just trying to figure out how to run a profitable photography business without sacrificing your family life, you're in the right place. We're dropping real, actionable advice that actually works for mom photographers.
No bro marketing, no toxic hustle culture, just two photographer moms keeping it real about making this whole business thing work while raising our families. So grab your watered down iced coffee.
Ignore that pile of laundry for another hour or day.
And let's dive into today's episode.
Hi, welcome back to Cameras and Car Seats. And today we have a hot topic for you. We're going to be talking all about CRMs, and we're going to get into what is a CRM, what CRMs we recommend, and we're just going to dive in.
Honestly, it's going to be a battle today so I am team Dubsado and Alex, you are team Honeybook. And I feel like honestly with the controversy, Honeybook has taken the wedding world by storm this last week. I think we have some spicy hot takes on that, but also we just want to come from a place of being like, hey, every CRM is different. Every business is different. Do what works best for you, but stop doing things manually.
Exactly. Let's dive in to what a CRM is, first of all.
Okay. So basically CRM, it's a client relationship management software, basically. So when you go to a store and they're checking you out at your point of sale service, that's pretty much what it is for photographers and other businesses. It holds your clients, your contracts, your invoices, and some of them even do gallery hosting, but they're all a little bit different. And there's Alex, I feel like you agree, there's no perfect CRM out there.
If there were a perfect CRM out there, we would all have it.
For real, honestly, in my mind, and I know this is a pipe dream, my perfect CRM, it has video hosting for my iPhone content, photo hosting, it has contracts, invoices, workflows, automation, it has email network, email marketing so that I can get rid of Flowdesk, and it has quick accounting so I can get rid of QuickBooks. It's a pipe dream, and everything. It just doesn't exist.
No. And that's why I'm so excited to talk about what each of our CRMs does and how it can work for you in your business and what's going to fit you more.
Okay. So let's just dive right into this Honeybook.
Yes, let's do it.
So everybody has been up in arms the last week because Honeybook announced that they are raising their prices. And Alex, I'm just going to give you the floor because you are team Honeybook.
I am team Honeybook, and I will tell you why I am staying and why I don't care that they're raising the prices. Honestly, I love that this is such a hot take. And I want to talk for a second about the irony. I think there's a little bit of that where when we are talking, especially in a creative field, we're always told to raise our prices when we learn something new or we offer something more or we're just doing the most, right? And when our CRM does the same thing, everyone's mad about it.
Right? In a way, so there's certain things that I wish Dubsado did that Honeybook does. And one thing that I feel like a lot of photographers don't know about is Honeybook has its own I don't even know what you call it. It's an accounting sort of software.
Yes. So they introduced financing. And so they partnered with a bank. And so now they have this huge, I was able to eliminate QuickBooks. So that was super amazing for my business, especially because also when we're talking about the subscription and them raising their prices and everything, the people who buy in also get 20% off. And so I think there's just a lot of I do think they missed the mark when it came to advertising, this price increase and everything, because they put in a lot of new features that a lot of people don't even know exist on Honeybook right now. So my favorite feature is their financing. So now they came out with, it has a bank account that you can have as your business account. It comes with a debit card. And I was a beta tester for this, so I've been using it for months and I absolutely love it. So it keeps track of your profit and loss and your transactions. And then my favorite aspect about it is that when you have a payment come in, you can select a certain percentage to be put into these buckets. So savings. So for me, and my big one is my taxes, right? Mm-hmm. So every time I get paid, it takes 30% of that payment and puts it into that tax bucket. And I don't even see it.
Oh, that's so nice because like I'm one of those people like, ooh, I got paid. Let's go to Target. No.
Yep.
Let's go spend daddy's money. Hi honey, love you. No.
Right.
But like that's so nice because like with me and like Dubsado, no offense, Dubsado, I love you. If you're listening to this, I love you so much.
Well, we'll talk about some of the things that Dubsado has. Right.
Like Dubsado's reporting is just trash. Like it's not there. And like when you talk about the reporting for Honeybook, I'm like, I'm jealous because I do still have to pay QuickBooks. And like, so your yearly subscription for Honeybook is, so right now, I think you said it's like right around 400 and eventually by 2027, your subscription is going to be for sake of numbers, like 600.
Yep. Like right under or around that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But being able to eliminate QuickBooks, it balances out for me and what it's worth. And that's where we'll get into too, is like, some people might not need that aspect for their business when it comes to the financing portion because they have that under control or they have a system that they like. And so being able to kind of figure out what works for you and your business is huge when it comes to CRM.
Because like at the end of the day, so my subscription for Dubsado is $350 a year. And then I did the math. It's about $300 a year for me for QuickBooks. So I'm like, okay, at the end of the year, you'll be paying $600 and I'll be paying $650. And for the most part, they're doing the same things and we're utilizing the same things between like automations, workflows, and just making sure that we're keeping up with our clients. And one thing that I feel like is a huge difference between the two is Dubsado is, a lot of people say that it's ugly. And like, I like to argue that like it's ugly because you have to put your own branding on it. And like, I always know immediately when I'm reaching out to a service provider and they have Honeybook because Honeybook's branding is always at the forefront.
Oh yeah. It says Honeybook on it.
Yeah. And like, you just kind of know if someone's a Honeybooker or if there's something else. Because like, yeah, Dubsado allows for so many custom codes and everything. And I utilize everything. So the proposals, it's like a little MySpace.
I was going to say, yeah, to like argue that point is, I think maybe from like the photographer perspective on Dubsado, it looks clunkier. But let's talk about one of the things that I'm jealous of Dubsado is like you can fully customize the branding on the client end.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was gonna say like the one thing I didn't like from Honeybook is I didn't like the client end experience, but then like everything else is awesome. And then like from the Dubsado point of view, I love that it's like, okay, click a link, pay, sign your contract. And like, I think you can turn this feature off with Honeybook, but like having to send an extra code to your email, like those extra hoops to jump through when you're a client on the Honeybook side just drove me crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely a feature. Like you can turn on or off the different authorizations on there, but yeah, for sure.
And like, so other things like pro Honeybook, pro Dubsado, rapid fire. What are your favorite features of Honeybook?
My favorite, well, definitely the financing aspect. That's my number one. Number two, I would have to say is from my end, I feel like everything is pretty seamless as far as like the home screen layout and everything. So like you can see your calendar, you can see your tasks, you can see your finance, like everything on my end is just so streamlined. And then you can create a custom pipeline is what they call it. And so it's this bar at the top where if you get an inquiry, it's in that like little section of it. And then you can customize the rest of the pipeline. So when somebody inquires with me, after they inquire, then they're like onto the pre-booking section. And then after that, they're on the consult section and like all those different customizable things for you and your business.
Oh yeah. Like for me with Dubsado, I'm obsessed with the workflow section.
Oh yeah.
I love the automations. I love the workflows. I also like, I guess in the nerdy techie side, I like creating them, if that makes sense. Like I love putting the workflow together and then testing it and watching it work. And it's like, ooh, okay, this is perfect. So then I know when a client reaches out to me, I'm just like, oh yes,
yeah,
they're going to be taken care of.
Exactly. I love on Honeybook too. They have the workflows and automations and everything. And I think this is super interesting. I don't know how many people know this about CRMs, but I know with Dubsado and Honeybook, you can create custom contact forms to put on your website. And then when people inquire, it gets sent right into your CRM. So then you can have those automations ready to go if you have like a pre-booking workflow, and it's just all makes the whole experience for you and your clients more seamless.
So speaking about contact forms, so I have Dubsado, and in Dubsado, in my contact form, I have a drop-down menu that's like what are we booking today? So like my first one is wedding or an elopement, portrait session. And then can't talk today, but then like based on what they select, a different workflow will start. And I feel like not everybody knows that. Like you can have multiple workflows so that I know. And like, honestly, the main reason I have workflows, making sure I'm not doing things manually and having the CRM be our personal assistant is so like, if they're reaching out to me just to get in contact, I'm going to immediately have my CRM send them an email, letting them know my boundaries. Like, hey, your email is in my inbox. Expect a response within 24 to 48 hours. Or on the flip side, if they're a wedding client and they're reaching out to me, it's like, hey, I got your email. These are the next steps. This is exactly what you can expect. But it's all tailored towards that person and what they are asking about.
Yes. Yeah. I love that so much. Honeybook has that as well. And so let's talk a little bit then about that experience. I know that both Honeybook and Dubsado also have your contracts, your invoices, your proposals, your questionnaires, all of that. So can you kind of walk me through what that looks like on your end with Dubsado?
So I do agree that like the dashboard is what Dubsado calls it. When you first log in to Dubsado, it's kind of messy, and they say it's on their what they call their roadmap. Like, yeah, we'll make this prettier eventually, but like at the same time, it's not like it's a huge priority either. So I always work in the projects tab, so that way I can see my leads. So leads are just people that have filled out my contact form, and then I can customize it. So like I have it set up so it's my clients that are booked and paid wedding clients, they get put into another tab based on the project. So if they're a wedding client, they're in the wedding folder. If they're a session client, if they're mentoring, branding, that way I can easily go through all of my projects and I can just click on that client and see where we're at in the process.
I love that. Okay. So I have a question just out of my own curiosity. Yours then you said is broke down by like wedding, portrait, family, whatever. So when you go in there, is that like how it's categorized?
No. So that's legit. That's just what made sense in my mind. I know different photographers that use Dubsado that legit break down the tabs and then have their workflow set up to move their clients through those tabs.
Okay.
So, which I think is totally really cool, but it was just a little too much for my brain.
Yeah.
I personally just wanted wedding clients in a folder, portrait clients in a folder.
That makes sense.
And then I would rather manually, well, I use the word manually, but like for me, I wanted all of my clients in one tab. I didn't want, so like, you know, when you have a folder in a folder on a desktop, I didn't want too many folders.
That makes sense.
But you can break it down. It's totally customizable. It just, whatever works for your brain.
Yeah, I love that because mine is broken down by where they are in the process.
Okay.
So mine is like, they've had their session or haven't, and then they're in like the planning section or whatever. So my planning section could look like a couple that's, I've already shot their engagement session, but they're just in that middle zone before I reach out to them for their questionnaire before their wedding day. And so they're kind of in that zone. And then that's also the same zone that maybe somebody is for a family session, also waiting for that questionnaire. So I categorize mine that way.
That's so funny. So like legit, you would do it exactly the way other people like, I'm like, but for me, that was just too many folders in a folder. So that's funny. But like, just so you know, you can do both on Honeybook and Dubsado.
They're customizable for sure.
And then like Dubsado and Honeybook, they both have apps. And I know a lot of people were like, I can't have Dubsado. It doesn't have an app. And I was one of the beta testers for the app earlier this year. And when everyone was complaining that Dubsado didn't have an app, I was like, it's not a big deal. Just go to the mobile website. And then once the app came out, I am telling you,
it's worlds different.
I can't live without it now.
Honeybook has an app and it's so amazing. Like obviously there are, and we've talked, like there are work, like desktop tasks, and then there's app tasks. Like I wouldn't do something
that
super
is laptop
extreme
behavior.
But yeah, it is so nice though to like easily check in on stuff or like go and I don't know.
So like if someone didn't have the app, so like when we say that Honeybook and Dubsado both have an app, we're basically saying like you can send an email to your clients. You can check in to see if you have automation set up, where they are in the automation. One thing I love, and I feel like you agree with me, is when you get paid, the little ding notification sound is it's so nice.
It is so fun.
I don't know if you can do this in Honeybook, but one thing I love about the Dubsado app is I'm an emoji person. I don't know if that makes me a millennial or what, but like I can change the emoji for like everyone's project. So I got like a Badlands inquiry the other day for a Badlands elopement. So I changed it to a cowboy.
That is
just
so
it made
funny.
me happy. Just little hits of dopamine that make me happy.
I love it so much. Okay, so walk me through because on Honeybook, when I send out information for somebody who's inquiring, it's on a proposal. And then like in that proposal, I have, after I've had a consult with them, it includes their contract, their invoice. And then it also in that proposal has a like schedule calendar so they can go and schedule their engagement session. So what are some of the features that you like on the Dubsado side of that?
So honestly, Dubsado is almost exactly similar.
Yeah.
So when I have a client reach out and then like we do their consult call and everything like that, Dubsado has a scheduler. I will admit it is a little clunky, the scheduler. Like I think in a way I wish it was set up better to make mini sessions and things like that easier to set up on the back end side. That's one thing I don't like about Dubsado is the scheduler is a little bit more complicated to set up, but again, they say it's on the roadmap for fixing, so I'm going to take their word for it. But like when I send out a proposal, the contract is linked to it, the invoice is linked to it. I have it all set up on a workflow automation so that it will send all of them, they can sign it, they can pay, and then I have they're called client portals in the Dubsado world. So my clients can access any of their stuff, look up their contract, everything. I can customize their portal completely if I did like a session for them. But for the most part, I just kind of leave it just my main branding just because I want it to be a spot where they're like, hey, where was this? And they could easily just go look up their contract, their invoice, pay. They can set up auto pay. They can do all of those things. And one thing that was new that like some people were complaining about Dubsado with the payment option, Dubsado, you can now do Affirm and Klarna, PayPal, and then it's Dubsado payments powered by Stripe.
Okay. Yeah. So now with Honeybook, I know there was some confusion too with like the payments and all that stuff. Now that they have the financing, if you have the financing, you get the funds right away when people pay. So like the second that I see, I get the little cha-ching, it's in my Honeybook account already.
Okay, sidebar. Quick question. Does Honeybook take funds from you? I've always wondered. So like when you get a payment, right? Like everyone knows the 2.9 plus 30%. Right. Like that's normal for credit card fees. But does Honeybook take some off the top?
To my understanding, not unless you do direct deposit.
Okay.
Which is not, if you have the financing, that's not like relevant.
Right.
You know?
Or so, is there a fee for like instant deposit?
I think there's a slight fee if you do instant deposit.
Which I feel like makes sense. I feel like a lot of people do that.
Not when you have the financing set up, there's no fee.
Which is fine because, again, Honeybook has like their own bank in a way.
Right. Like it's not a bank, but it's like in it, you know?
However, they have to do that in their internal
I think, like,
world.
Legally, they can't say they are.
Legally, we are not giving you advice either. We are just debating our CRMs today.
Okay, so let's chat about integration. So we were talking about like QuickBooks and how you use QuickBooks. I was able to cut QuickBooks. What are some of the other integrations? So I have mine set up with my Google Calendar as well. So when people like schedule appointments or anything like that, and then Zoom, that's what I use for my consult calls, and that is also integrated, as well as they also rolled out that they're integrated with PickTime now as well on Honeybook. So when I pull up like the back end, I can link their PickTime account, and then when they pull it up, their gallery will be linked in their portal.
That would be so nice because that would just like, if Dubsado did that would just take another step out of my workflow that I have to do manually. But like by manually, I mean, I have it in my workflow. They're called to-dos. So like I have it set up so when we reach that point where it's time to deliver their gallery based on my current turnaround times, Dubsado emails me like, hey, it's time to upload these links to this section of the workflow so that when we send this email, all of these links are in that email.
Right, which they can still access in their portal, right?
Right, and they can. And I do love that about Dubsado's portals is I can add outside links, so Pinterest boards or like anything like that. It doesn't have to be a straight up Dubsado only. I all of my portals have my Pinterest boards linked in case people want inspiration.
Yeah.
I pin any and everything.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So another feature that Honeybook has that I just started using too is during my consult calls, they'll have an AI like assistant join the Zoom call. And so then I get like a script, like brief of an entire like chat. So then I don't have to remember like, okay, crap, I need to write down like what their wedding colors are or what their favorite movie is. Like that's all like in my Honeybook notes.
At the moment, Dubsado, like December 2024, Dubsado does not have AI integrated. I know they have plans for AI because they talk about it a lot. Like Dubsado, I'm pretty sure Honeybook has a Facebook group too for like community.
They do.
So like Dubsado has talked about it. It's on their roadmap. We don't have AI at the moment. So when I do Zoom calls, I do still record them so I can watch them back.
Yeah.
But I don't have like an assistant, even though I think technically if you pay for a certain level of Zoom, you can get an AI assistant.
Okay.
But I don't look into that enough about Zoom because again, we're talking about all the different subscriptions we have. So I just have the base Zoom subscription.
Me too.
And like you were talking about integrations with Dubsado, I have Zapier. I don't know if that's how you actually pronounce Zapier. But like I have that integrated in Dubsado so that when people reach out to me, they get added into my email list. So that just takes a task off of my hand. It's automated.
Yeah, that's nice. It would be so nice if a CRM came out with like an email marketing because we both use Flowdesk for that.
Yeah. If I could get rid of, or like, it's not that I don't like it's not like I don't like Flowdesk, right? I do really like them. Right. They are great for email marketing.
It's just another step.
It's just, sometimes I feel like it's so hard to be a photographer because of all of the subscriptions. So we have our website, we have our gallery hosting, we have our CRM, and then we have, what was the other one I'm thinking of? Gallery, email, website, CRM. Oh, for me, it's QuickBooks, accounting.
Oh, yeah.
And like, you were able to eliminate that.
Yes, that has been nice. Okay, so what is one feature that you cannot live without on Dubsado?
Oh boy, I know. I'm gonna sound like a dead horse or something. Proposals.
You're gonna sound like a dead horse.
I don't know. How's
like
that
you're
saying
beating
go?
a dead horse.
There we go. Wow.
All right, dead horse, your turn to talk.
this is dead horse. No. Okay. But like seriously, I love the proposal feature of Dubsado because like the way I have my business set up, I customize as much as I can for my clients because none of my clients are the same. None of my elopements are the same. And I have my base packages. I have what I get out of bed for, pay my bills with, but like the proposal option makes it that much more custom because I can not only customize the proposal to my brand, my fonts, my colors, my photos. It also lets me integrate like different package options. So I have like 3 packages on there. I have add-ons. So like if they wanted to add on video content, they can easily select that or not. Like they don't have to feel the pressure. Like I have to pick this package and sign on the dot. It's more like they know what I'm offering. I'm suggesting things to them based on exactly what they told me, and then they get to pick their package. So the proposals, I cannot say enough good thing about proposals because it goes right into contract, invoice, and then again, I have it all set up with an automated workflow. So it's so seamless, and I'm obsessed with it because once you figure it out, I can't live without it.
Right. Okay. So when this is going back a little bit, but I just thought of this question. When people inquire with you and stuff, does Dubsado have reporting when it comes to like how many inquiries you've had and how many proposals you've sent out and like booking rates and stuff like that?
Technically, yes.
Okay.
But I'm letting you know now it's trash. It is like, so like I have it in my contact form that, hey, where'd you find me? And like, it'll go in there, but it's so clunky in the report section. So that's why I personally have a different Google spreadsheet to keep track of all my inquiries and where they found me. And that's how I know all my percentages. So like right now, 30% of my inquiries are from Google, but like, that's because I'm taking the time to manually track that.
Yeah. Honeybook has one too, but I kind of feel the same way. Like it's not quite as intuitive as a spreadsheet. Cause I like to be able to see like, okay, when did this person inquire? Where did they find me? And then when did they like drop off?
Exactly.
Like, did they respond to my email or did they book a consult? Did they not book a consult? And like exactly the moment.
Which I don't even know if we can fault Honeybook or Dubsado for that. Because like everybody's business is different. And the way that we do our spreadsheets, I like to keep track as much data as possible.
Exactly.
So I don't even think we can totally fault a CRM for that, because how do you even market that to the masses in a way?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and I don't think a lot of people are doing that.
I don't think they are either.
I don't think a lot of people are tracking where they're losing people or where they're getting inquiries from. Like, I don't think that's a common
tell
thing.
you the percentage of when people fall off and like say, for lack of better words, my funnel. Like if they ghost me right away once they get pricing, if they ghost me after the call, I can tell you exactly all of my percentages and the percentages of where the lead came from.
Yeah. Like, okay, so on Honeybook, I can see like how many files I've sent, how many contracts I sent, and then like the different months are broken down by like, yes, you got this many off of Google and stuff like that. But it's not, like I said, it's not as intuitive as that process.
So one thing I feel like I'm jealous of you, besides the financing thing where you don't have to have QuickBooks, is I feel like Honeybook has like a better, like it girl, like I've booked 100K of jobs this, like, you know what I mean? Like with that reporting, you can see like the value of jobs you've booked.
Yes,
and Dubsado doesn't really, like we do have that, but again, the reporting is just not there.
Okay, can I also say something that I love about Honeybook that's like really like a small little personal thing?
This whole episode is Honeybook and Dubsado, so you have the floor to brag about Honeybook.
I don't know if Dubsado does this or not. And let's also note that like Jamie tried Honeybook for a while and then went to Dubsado. And I tried Dubsado for a while and then went to Honeybook. So this just proves that like what works for you, you have to kind of test and figure that out.
Also, sidebar, I don't even think it matters if you're a traditional wedding photographer or an elopement photographer, because I know photographers that are traditional and love Honeybook and that are also elopement and love Honeybook and vice versa.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. So when I open either desktop or app on Honeybook, it will have a little quote for me. Like it'll say like, good afternoon, or like have a cup of coffee, or make sure you schedule a lunch break. And then it'll like have little emojis and stuff at the top.
Okay. That is kind of cute.
It does
it's
give
like
you
a little motivation, like, hey, just so you know, you're not alone.
Yeah.
And
I just opened mine right now. It says, good afternoon, Alex. Money follows passion. You got this.
I kind of love like those little things. It's the little things that make me happy. One thing with Dubsado, I like that. I think you can do this with Honeybook. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like you can do public or private. So like with proposals, I have it set up. So this last summer when I did my 100 Days of Summer special, anyone could fill out that proposal. And then like it was set up as a public facing link, and then it would create a new project for every client. But then I also, on the flip side, I do private proposals for my clients that have already reached out and were already in the process. So is that what it's called with Honeybook too?
Yes. Yeah. So they have like their proposals and guides and like brochures. They have like different things. I don't really utilize brochures. I do the guides and then the questionnaires and proposals.
Okay. Yeah. I do questionnaires a lot, contracts, invoices, and like, well, they're called forms on like the internal linking, but like that's where all my questionnaires are stored. And then like I have a couple different lead capture forms that are on different landing pages on my website, so that it makes more sense. Like if I have a landing page that's just about sessions, that's the contact form I have on there, just so like I can see where they came from in a way. Hey, I'm just pausing this episode really fast to talk about my CRM. I currently use Dubsado. Dubsado is so freaking amazing. It lets me do everything in my business between workflows, automations, scheduling mini sessions, scheduling consult calls. It is an amazing, super powerful CRM, and I highly recommend that you look into it and not that honeypot thing that Alex is going to talk about, because Dubsado is way better. LOL. But I'm going to drop all of my affiliate links in the show notes so that you can easily check out which one that is best for you. They are both amazing, but I currently use Dubsado while Alex uses Honeybook. So come check them out and make sure that you start integrating automations and workflows into your business.
Psst, it's Alex here. And don't tell Jamie, but if you want your systems as organized as your Instagram feed pretends to be, you should be using Honeybook. I use it for all my emails to keep on top of everything and give my clients the best experience possible. So if you're ready for a discount, you can check the show notes to get Honeybook, which is way better than Dubsado, by the way.
Okay, so I know with Dubsado that I have an affiliate link, but also anyone that has Dubsado has an affiliate link. And I feel like not everybody knows that.
No, everybody who has a CRM has a referral link.
And I'm curious. So like, I think the payout is different. So with
It is.
Dubsado, I think it's like a $35 credit. So it's not like huge, but honestly, it's kind of nice when you have someone sign up through your link. And then when your yearly subscription goes to renew and you're like, why is it only $200 this year? And then you're like, oh, people signed up under my link. Thank you. That's so cool.
Yeah. Honeybook is the same way. And it gives my users too, who like sign up through my link, a discount.
Yes.
As well. And then right now, currently in December 2024, Honeybook is doing get $100 bonus when you refer 5 people.
Well, that's kind of nice. Cause I think, Dubsado, it gives you, it's either 20 to 30% off. They just did their Black Friday special. So my brain is like a little bit torn on the numbers. So don't totally quote me on the numbers, but it is a percentage off when you use someone's affiliate link.
Yes. Yeah.
Which we'll totally, like shamelessly put our affiliate links in the show notes.
You can visit all the show notes now for all the information on Honeybook and Dubsado and our referral codes.
Either way. Okay. So like, I feel like just to wrap this episode up, I really enjoy the banter of being like Team Dubsado, Honeybook sucks. Like I love that banter to us.
No.
Like that's like saying it's an Iowa versus Iowa State game or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's fun and like we like to banter back and forth. But whatever CRM works for you, works for you. At the end of the day, our goal is to just help you out in business because motherhood is busy, business is busy. And like, if you need help with workflows, I know both of us do one-on-ones. I know Dubsado has educators and they have people that you can hire to figure it out. Like I actually did hire someone from Dubsado to do my workflows for me. I technically had my workflow. I didn't have the time to sit down and integrate it. And hiring that person was one of the best decisions I ever made. And I feel like not everybody knows that you can hire someone, but do it. Seriously, do it.
Yeah, you can do that for Honeybook too. At the end of the day, like just have a CRM. We will be in your corner. Just have a CRM.
Like just tell us your workflow. Tell us where you're struggling and we can point out exactly how you can set up that automation and use it. Like we understand why some people got upset about Honeybook's like upping their price because they might not be utilizing all the features.
Exactly.
And that totally makes sense. And like, that's when, like, if you're just talking that through with someone, I would tell you like, hey, have you looked into something like Shootproof? Because Shootproof has contracts, invoice, and gallery hosting if you're not going to utilize the other features. I don't know Shootproof's price off the top of my head. I used to use Shootproof, but
yeah, at the end of the day, if you're utilizing all the features and you see the value in it, it's worth it. But if you're not going to be utilizing all the features, then maybe that CRM isn't for you, and that's totally okay.
And I think it's really funny that we've said at the end of the day, like 10 times.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, do what's best for you.
And now at the end of this episode.
No. Okay, but really, we're going to wrap this episode up. I really hope you guys found some value in the pros, the cons of Honeybook, Dubsado. We will literally talk your ears off. But if you DM us on Instagram and someone starts saying Honeybook sucks, that's most likely Jamie talking to you.
And if I'm like, hey, Dubsado, no.
But no, seriously, we want to hear from you guys. So come message us on our Instagram account at Cameras and Car Seats. You can find us goofing off on TikTok too. We're a little bit all over the place. The show notes have all of our links. So if you do want to check out Dubsado or Honeybook, feel free to check them out.
Thank you so much.
See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.